Man, they're beating up senior citizens in America now. They're going too far now. They're beating up senior citizens in America now. Let me be serious. As you catch me in the midst of my breakfast. About to get my line up, so don't talk about it. My barber is going to fix me up. But what is the price that you would put on dignity? What is the price that you would put on dignity? Let me give you an example. Let's have a versus match with Michael Jordan and Cooper Flagg. What's going on, James Wesley Jr.? What's happening, my brother? Michael Jordan versus Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg, presumptive lottery pick in the next NBA draft. Michael Jordan is 60 years old. Let's have a one-on-one match. And let's declare that if Cooper Flagg beats Michael Jordan, he's probably one of the greatest. After all, he's beating Michael Jordan. Listen to me. I don't know why Mike Tyson decided to besmirch his legacy with that debacle that I witnessed last night. Shout out to Melinda Waterpool, the true champion of the WBO, the true champ, the Canadian champ, okay? The true champ. I call her, I know they call her the Sling or whatever. I'm changing her name, the Terminator. Coming forward every day. That girl should never have beaten her. The Canadian won that fight. Just when you need white supremacy to work for you, it fails. Melinda's my girl. She won the fight. She won the fight, and it's unfair that they gave that girl the fight because she was under Jake Paul's promotion. My sister, she did a good job, but our Canadian sister, she beat you. But that's not what I'm talking about. But shout out to her, the true champ, Melinda Waterpool. Let's go. What is the cost of your dignity, Mike? Mike Tyson made $20 million for that fight. $20 million. Okay? Jake Paul made double that. But Jake, of course, he's a promoter. He put up all the costs. He paid all the purses. But Mike rolled in there with nothing, having to do nothing except pay for his people, and Mike picks up 20 mil. Now, let's be real. Half of that money is going straight to who? Straight to who? The tax man. The IRS gets half of that money, right? Then he paid his corner people anywhere between 2 million and 5, let's say. 2 on the low end, which is very low, 5 on the high end, right? So that leaves Mike Tyson out of 20 million after taxes, after paying his people, with a potential $5 million purse. $5 million, right? So 5 million, let's up it to 7. That was the cost of his legacy, fighting a 28-year-old internet kid who basically ran away from him the entire fight. Mike was completely immobile. He had a bad right knee, clearly, so the wheels weren't working. He couldn't get out of the way fast enough, although his defense was still good. He could still do this, but he couldn't actually get out of the way quick enough to avoid some of those ridiculously slow punches from Jake Paul. And he couldn't chase him enough. He could only take a couple of steps forward, but he effectively couldn't chase him enough. And Jake ran, pot-shotted, scored more. Tyson didn't shoot his shot too many doggone times. We know that. But he's a 60-year-old man against a 28-year-old kid, right? I called my boy Jason McDonald. I'm going to share this with you, Jason, because I said, Jason, what do you think of this fight? He asked me my age. I told him I'm 25 years old, right? Tried to double it on me, right? The audacity, the audacity. And he said, man, do you think you could go out there and play against any young 28-year-old kid? I had to bring to his attention. This was my perspective on it, right? I'll talk about the glove biting thing later. But my perspective is there's only been one young kid who has beaten me in basketball, in 101 in basketball, my entire life. Only one kid ever beat me, and that's my son. That's correct. Exenis Brereton. All these kids that I coach in high school, and the list goes all the way back to 1992, no losses. No losses. Is it because I'm a superior athlete in my latter silverback gorilla days? No. But I know what I'm doing. I'm efficient. I cheat. I rig the game in my favor. I say a maximum of 3 dribbles. 3-point shots count as 2. No rebounds. Tyson did the same thing. Tyson said 8 rounds of boxing, 2 minutes, 2-minute rounds, right? But this is what Tyson didn't do. He should have made the ring smaller. That's what he left out. He should have made the ring a little bit smaller so that boy couldn't run all over the place. That's the only thing I think he left out. But in all of those times, Jason McDonald, I didn't take any L's except for my son, who I trained to be an NBA level player. And he's an NBA level player. And he has a right to beat his dad. Although I get my licks in, he has a right to beat his dad. Nobody else. Nobody, no scrubs got any W's against me. But don't get it twisted. If I see a kid that's pretty good, I ain't playing him. I'm not stupid. I'm not playing him because I don't want any L's on my record. I don't want this kid saying, I beat you, No. I can't have that. The streets would talk. I'm a street ball legend out in these streets. I can't have that. And nobody's paying me. I don't know if it was worth it. Now, I don't know Mike Tyson's pocket. I don't know his pocket. But I know for myself, my number for my dignity is nowhere near 5 million. Nowhere near 5 million. If you are going to make the fool out of me, punch me in the face, swell up my eye, and have your little skinny neck brother stand behind you and talk about, I would kill you, Mike. It's got to be more than 5 million net in my pocket. What is the cost of dignity? Since when is it a sporting event to have young white children beat up old black men? That's all I saw last night. I saw this little white child beat up an old man. An old man that supposedly used to be good back in the day, but an old man nonetheless. And this guy, I heard Roy Jones talking about, Jake Paul has become a boxer. Roy Jones Jr., shut the hell sinky up. The audacity of what I heard last night. I am very glad Mike Tyson took the extra time to get his stamina ready. Because we know that he couldn't catch that boy with a scooter because his legs those bicycles they weren't turning. They weren't turning. I'm so upset. I gotta eat more cereal. I waited up till midnight to watch somebody's grandpapa be beat up by one of the little cousins. Anybody knows. Anyone knows. And shout out to Uncle Alphonse McCullough. May he rest in peace. Uncle Alphonse McCullough, from Rochester, New York. Bad guy back in his day. Him and his big brother, the Archbishop. Bad dudes out in Rochester back in the day, right? Archbishop still carried himself like he might be able to bench 500 pounds now, which he used to do back in the day. And his brother came behind him. So we outside, and this is what's supposed to happen, but we outside, and Uncle Al, he's like, man, back in the day, boy, I had these hands. And Uncle Al starts dancing, doing the little dance in front of me, little boxing dance, right? I'm seeing Al, I'm like, okay, Uncle Al, and boom. You know, he throws a couple, and I throw, open hand stuff, light stuff. But as I threw mine, I saw about 15 brothers circle me like, you better not land any. You better not land any. You can play around, but you better not land any, baby, or we gonna be on you like white on jasmine rice. That's what should have happened. As soon as the corner started seeing, as soon as Tyson's son started seeing that go wrong, that should have become a WWE fight. Somebody should have come over the top rope and took a chair and slammed it over Jake Paul's head. What you doing hitting my grandpapa? Man. But Tyson went 8 rounds. He wasn't winded in the first, I would say he wasn't winded in the first 4 rounds. The last few rounds, yeah, you can see, right? But so was Jake. Jake wasn't any more fresh than Tyson was. He just had better wheels. Y'all gonna make my cereal soggy. What y'all saying? Mike's legs. Hayden Brown, boy. Mike needed a wheelchair out there. He could not get out of the way. He said Mike's legs could barely move. And Sean McGinnis, I was so sad about that. I'm here telling Jason McDonald, Jason, Mike's gonna take him in the first 2, Jason. Jason like, because I'm the old dude thinking we still got it. Jake Paul lost even though he won. I agree, double A vibes. Because you basically beat up an old dude who couldn't move. Disgusting. At least at the end, he started to bow and stuff. But it looked like he was trying to go for a knockout. I'm telling you, bro, if that's my dad, I would have been sitting at the end. If anyhow he would have knocked my father out, I would have murdered him. I would have jumped into that ring. Why was this a real boxing match? Why wasn't this a regular exhibition match too? How did this become sanctioned? They had to go all the way to Texas to get this to be a sanctioned fight. Flipping ridiculous. This dude is you mean Stephen A. Smith? Brother, Stephen A. Smith got nothing on me. I have more gift than gab. I have more electricity in my elocution. I have the capacity to coin a phrase and mint a sentence more than Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith can't see me, my brother. But I appreciate the compliment. Let me see here. The race card. I'm pulling it. I'm pulling the race card, Hayden, because why are little white children allowed to beat up old black men? Okay? Why is this a sport in America? This could never be a real sport. Come on. For a second. Pick any. This is Rocky Marciano versus Joe Louis all over again. Remember, and it's disrespectful to put Jake Paul and Rocky Marciano in the same sentence. But Rocky Marciano beat Joe Louis. Joe Louis was 100 damn years old. This is going to go down as a literal loss to Mike Tyson's record and a literal win to Jake Paul's. Jake Paul, in the record books, in the official record books, has a win against Mike Tyson. And any other scenario, this could never be allowed. Bring out some old white boxer and bring some young kid out here and say, oh, this old white boxer is going to fight this young black stud. No one's going to pay to see that. 72,000 people paid to see Jake Paul beat up a senior citizen. The entire Ultimate Fighting Challenge, the UFC, the entire UFC was built by bigging up Chuck Liddell, the Iceman. Remember that? Do you remember this? The Gracies, they weren't marketable enough to America because they're Latinos. But the Iceman was. Chuck Liddell, right? This tall, good-looking Viking knocking people out is what caused the UFC to actually grow, because it became the tough white guy sport, where boxing wasn't that. Boxing has been looking for a great white hope since Jack Dempsey. Okay? Boxing has been looking for a great white hope for 100 doggone years. The UFC gave them multiple. And this is the phenomena you're seeing, that an internet guy who's handpicking his opponents, and is actually training pretty good. It's not that he's not training pretty good. He is training pretty good. But he's handpicking his opponents. Now he comes out here and fights Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson allows himself to be completely embarrassed by actually standing in the ring with a kid who can move. This is the only difference. The kid can move, you couldn't move. And the audacity of not even finishing Mike off is ridiculous. Imagine you can't beat a 60-year-old man. You're 28 years old. You trained all day long. You got nothing else to do with your life. And you can't knock out a 60-year-old man who's 5'10" and 200 pounds? Mike Tyson's 5'10", 200 pounds. I'm 6'7", 270 pounds. Any 5'10" dude who is 50 pounds lighter than me, I will pick him up and throw him across the doggone room. Do you think that a 60-year-old Mike Tyson can stand in front of any other brother and be like, I'm Mike Tyson? Be like, Mike, stop this, bro. So it's the audacity of it. For me, there's the audacity of it. It should have been an exhibition. It should have nothing to do with Mike Tyson's record. And it should have stayed in the exhibition category. Because this gentleman, Jake Paul, is a disgrace to boxing. That event was a black eye. I heard these guys saying, oh, boxing, there's a new era in boxing. What are you talking about? That was a disgrace to the sport. That was like, I'm not going to disrespect Ice Cube, but that's like calling the Big Three the new thing in professional basketball. Come on, bro. Rasta, I don't know. I looked at that and I was just like, damn, Mike. Why'd you got to do that to yourself, Mike? And I'm looking at poor Mike Tyson, asking him questions. Mike, how was your knee? Yeah, well, I'm not going to make any excuses for it. I'm out here. Mike, why were you biting your gloves? This man was chewing on his gloves like Papa was chewing on cashews. While he's watching a sporting event, chewing on those doggone gloves like they were food. I'm like, what in the heck is going on? I was mortified. And then the idiots in Jake Paul's corner, black guys, okay? So this ain't a race thing. It's a jackass thing. Bro, he ain't in your class. Go out there and knock him out. You can knock out Mike. They gave you money to train Jake Paul to knock out Mike Tyson. And at 60 doggone years old. And you there proud of yourself? This guy's sitting around with his big old belly thinking he's a trainer. Yeah, I trained Jake Paul to beat Mike Tyson. Who do you think you are, Mickey Rooney? Come on, bro. Come on. He think you're Costamano? Is that his name? You think you're Gus now? Poor Michael. Poor Michael. Where's Robin Givens when you need somebody to go out there and give that boy some advice? Well, he's $5 million richer. Officially 20, but we know he didn't get all that money. And the Jake Paul train is rolling on. And Tyson, man, my cereal really sloppy now. Tyson said, I might do it again. I won't watch it. I'm not watching it. You might as well have dug up Muhammad Ali and put him out there. Stuffed him, dug him up. In fact, Layla Ali would probably have given Jake Paul a better fight. That should be his next opponent. Shoot. That was ridiculous. I don't know what y'all think, but I think that was absolutely ridiculous. Be like Mike. Man, who held for review? What are you people saying? Because he's never won a fight since he left prison. Oh, he has won a fight since he left prison. What's wrong with you, Marcus Wolf? The Serrano fight was it was too. It was. The head that's the girls, right? That was just ridiculous. Because of the headbutt, they took her stuff too. That was ridiculous. All that, everything was ridiculous. The first fight was the first girl fight with Melinda. She won that fight. They were all ridiculous. There were some ridiculous. The judges were ridiculous. The event was ridiculous. The whole thing was ridiculous. But Jake Paul is now, guess what? The go-to promoter in boxing. Scratch your head on that. You know who's coming next, right? Do you know who this guy wants to fight next? He wants to fight Mayweather. I just said it in my mind, came out of my mouth, and it might be true. Imagine him fighting Mayweather. He's heavier. He's bigger than Mayweather, right? He might try to knock off a few pounds, tell Mayweather to come up. But Mayweather hopefully is smart enough and has enough money not to do that to himself. Mayweather can't even really fight T.I., messing with T.I.'s wife. T.I. want to knock Mayweather out. Mayweather got to go out with goons just to hide from T.I. Forget about Jake Paul. You should be proud of Mike. I am. No, I am not. I'm not proud of Mike for that. I'm not proud of Mike for that. If Mike knocked him out, I'd be proud. I don't celebrate losing like that. I don't celebrate that. I wouldn't sign up for a fight I can't win. I bet on Jake and won 92K. Marcus Wolf, I hate you, but if it's true, lend me some money. I know this is hard. Tyson is pissed as hell. I know this is hard. I think he went to say hard. I'm sure Tyson is pissed as hell. Yep, Jake Paul is the great white hope. I am ridiculous. That's why I'm out here on social media talking to you, and you are here listening to me. Because I am the ridiculous type of personality that is out here in social media, like Jake Paul. And folks come to watch. It's ridiculous. I know. Marcus, I bet you wouldn't even do a single round with Mike. You're an absolute clown, a big talker. Thank you very much, Micro USB. Marcus is a clown. But you know what? We welcome clowns in this circus. It's okay. We're here having a good time. It's a boys' conversation. The girls are welcome. But the cost of your dignity shouldn't be $20 million. We have to draw a line for these iconic sports people to say, hey, don't do that to us. Don't mess us up like that. Right? When Muhammad came back and tried to fight Holmes was like, stop the fight, man. Stop the fight. The only thing that I'm going to give Jake at the end, he bowed. He wasn't trying to go for a last-minute knockout. He honored Mike. He said some wonderful things about Mike afterward, which I appreciated. I didn't like what his brother said, and I hope somebody slaps the taste out of his mouth, but I'll kill you, Mike. Please slap the taste out of that boy's mouth. Where's Mike's sons? Where are your sons, Mike? Anyway, all in all, it was another iconic societal fail. Okay. What has our society come to where beating up old men has become a must-see sport? Beating up elderly citizens. I don't care if he used to be the greatest when he was 18, 19 years old. Right now, he's a 60-year-old grandpapa, and he cannot fight a 28-year-old kid in an actual boxing match for a long period of time. Come on. It's not fair. It's ridiculous. Jim says, cut it out. They said Mike was going to smash him. I thought Mike was going to smash him too. I thought so too. I really did believe Mike was going to knock this guy the heck out. I did. I believed it. I was wrong. But I didn't know he had a bad wheel, though, because they didn't show us that in the little sparring clips. When he was walking up, then imagine Jake Paul rides in on an Impala, and they made Mike Tyson walk 200 doggone meters on a bad leg. That's when I saw, uh-oh. And remember, I don't know if you saw it at the beginning, he tripped when he was coming out of the tunnel. I was like, this ain't going to end well. This ain't going to end well. So I didn't know the wheels were bad. I thought maybe the brother might have a heart attack out of exertion, but I didn't know his wheels were bad. He's not an old NBA player that he's supposed to have bad knees. I don't know why he would have bad knees. I got bad knees because I used to fly through the air with the greatest of ease. But Mike Tyson is a boxer. He should be running around on grass and soft surfaces. I don't know why he's got a bad knee. I didn't think he had a bad knee. I didn't think the brother couldn't move. Couldn't move. He could not move. That was the part. Are you a boxer? My son is a boxer. I've trained my son in boxing. I'm a mixed martial artist. Okay, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I can't call myself a boxer, but I can box. I know the skill sets of boxing, dirty boxing mostly. I've studied Jeet Fan Kune Do, Kung Fu, and jiu-jitsu. So yes, I understand the techniques of boxing, and that's why I felt that understanding the sweet science, as Mike Tyson must, there's no way this kid was going to have any level of advantage. I didn't think so. I thought, there's no way that this guy who started boxing 8 years ago is going to be able to deal with a guy who was the Golden Gloves champ, an Olympic champ, multiple heavyweight championships. He's going to have some skills. He's going to have some Shaolin Kung Fu for him. He had nothing. And I was shocked. I was shocked that Mike did not have anything to put on this guy. Anything to corral this kid and put this guy in his place and say, hey, let me show you what the big leagues is like, the little fella. I was surprised. So, let me see here. Jake lost to an actual boxer. Yes, he did. That's why he doesn't want to fight real boxers. Exactly. Thank you very much, Knight of Light. KS asked me again, are you a boxer? Are you trying, is this a challenge? Is this a challenge? Because put your money where your mouth is, because if you're going to promote something, I don't need 20 million. I'll take 20,000 to prove it to you. I'll take 20,000, KS. I feel like the fight might have been a little different if his legs were a bit better. That's my point. The man was struggling to stay up and move around. He couldn't get out the doggone way fast enough. That is the only point I have. Right? I know I've got a bum knee, but I still move better than Mike. Right? I'm a couple years younger, but my knee's not real. I'm sure he's got a real leg in there. I've got a knee replacement. And I think I could have done a little better in respect to moving. But Jake Paul, Lord have mercy. Yeah, my son's about to be one of the best, one of the greatest in time. To keep this kid's name in your mind, Kanan Brereton. Kanan the Lion Brereton. Keep his name in mind. He's coming up. Hapkido, I didn't do Hapkido. Hapkido is a very fantastic art. I sparred with some good Hapkido guys. Tough guys. Hapkido, they spar all the time, which what makes them good fighters. And any martial art where in the training capacity you're always sparring, those guys are usually very good fighters, right? That's why I love jiu-jitsu. But you combine jiu-jitsu with boxing, you got a pretty deadly little thing there. And you throw in Jeet Fan Kune Do, which teaches you stick fighting and teaches you knife fighting and dirty jiu-jitsu and dirty judo. Yeah. That little combination's not bad at all. You're a mean guy. You're a deadly guy, right? Mike is 60. Are you kidding? Yeah, I'm not kidding. He's 60. And still, at 60 years old, my son is a boxer. He's fast. He's like lightning. But when I show him a few things in slow motion, he's like, oh yeah, Dad, I can show him some stuff that he doesn't know and take advantage of little stuff. But yeah, he's quick as lightning. So I'm thinking, okay, Mike's got a couple of tricks in there that he's going to be able to slip in. Not a trick to be seen. Not a trick to be seen. I was shocked. I don't think the fight was staged because who would going to put their money on Mike Tyson to throw a fight? Mike's too combustible. You hit him and he'd be like, the bet's off. I'm gonna knock you out. I wouldn't think Mike had the capacity, the temperament to even throw a fight. I don't think he's that guy. So I think he came out there trying to do his best. I really do. And that's what he said at the end. He said, I wish Butterbean was young enough to fight Jake. I wish so too. Butterbean would, I don't know if Butterbean would knock him out. Or maybe because they both old. A Butterbean versus Tyson fight. Butterbean versus Tyson fight would be a circus. Because Mike wouldn't train for that fight. It would just be a circus. Must have spent a lot of time on your knees. I trained in Hapkido. Hapkido is a very great art. Those guys can fight. All Hapkido guys can fight. Every Hapkido guy I've trained with, they can fight. They're good fighters. They're tough guys, and they're good fighters. There's no knife. You said plus knives in street fighting. There's no knife training in Hapkido that I know of. Yeah. Must be speed work. You've never fought Tyson. Tyson was still, his defense was still pretty good. His hands were still fast, but the stuff that we saw that he did in training, it never converted into the actual fight. Of course, because he couldn't get close enough. I didn't see him throw one combination, not one. Pot shots is really all I saw. He didn't try to clinch and punch. Yeah, so I think he was just happy that he had the wind to compete and to stay in the ring, which we saw. He did have the cardio to be in there, but he didn't overexert himself, which is very clear. And I don't think he could. The fight was fixed. I don't think it was fixed. Love from the UK, Ken Knight. Yeah, man. Well, that's my opinions. I just wanted to let you guys know that in America, little white children's beating up older black men. Okay, it's got to stop. Call Donald. Tell him that he's got to stop these kind of fights. These things can't be sanctioned anymore. Jake Paul at the end gave his little secret MAGA thing at the end there. I was like, I heard you, Jake. It's a new world. Things are changing. Yeah, whatever, bro. Things are really changing for the worst. If they're letting 28-year-old little white kids from YouTube beat up champions, it's just stupid. It is dumb. Whether they're black or white, I'm doing that to because I'm a race baiter, and I've been told by people. But I'm like, listen, I don't know why this brother. I'm talking about Mike now. Like, why would you put yourself in that position? It's ridiculous. Mike Tyson has as many white people as black people in his camp, and as his supporters. So this really wasn't a race thing at all. But the fact that he allows himself to be used as a circus, a circus member, for this circus of Jake Paul, I didn't like it. I thought it was disrespectful. I think Holyfield, guys like Holyfield would never do that, never put themselves in that position. Holyfield thought he was going to actually do well, and a couple other guys did too. I think, but at the end of the day, they're not in the ring. They're not in the ring. All right. So, do you like Jake Paul? Personally, I have nothing for or against Jake Paul. I don't like the premise of a YouTube sensation picking who he wants to fight and actually calling it a real boxing match. Okay? Let this guy fight actual boxers, real boxers, and get the experience of fighting guys his age who are fast, who are fit, who are training to fight. This nonsense needs to stop. But as long as people are paying to see it, it won't. And this guy's going to walk around thinking he's the toughest guy in Never Never Land, when the reality is 8 out of 10 guys in the street going to slap that guy senseless when he walks into a room. 8 out of 10 guys in the doggone street. Jake Paul ain't nobody. All right? Beating up senior citizens, beating up bums, and he ain't nobody. But I don't dislike him. He's making his money. He's richer than me. Him and his brother know what they're doing. They're great businessmen. They're richer than me. But don't walk into a bar I'm sitting in and talk crazy. That's all I got to say. But anyway, take it easy, guys. Mike Tyson was a brilliant fighter, I think. I think the word you should say there, KS, is was. If Mike Tyson and Jake were the same age, of course it wouldn't be a fight. Jake would be sitting in the stands watching. He wouldn't be in the ring. He wouldn't even think to be in the ring with Mike Tyson at Mike Tyson's age. Jake would have been scared for his life, of course. Do not speak upon Mike Tyson. You're not a boxer. No, Mike Tyson was a great fighter. Can't say is. Was. I have no disrespect for Mike, but it's a was. It's not a is. Only casuals thought Mike would win. Yeah, it's true. It must have been one of them casuals, but I believed in the nostalgia. I believe in the silverback gorillas have the capacity to still do things. But boxing is boxing. They always say boxing is a young man's sport, and last night it was proven to be true. Bless you guys. Enjoy your Saturday. Tyson, dignity is not $20 million is not the price of any man's dignity, brother, especially yours. All right? Take it easy, guys. Talk to you soon. What's it say here? Mike looked pale and sick. Yeah. The fight was sad. I agree with you, Ray. He looked better in practice. I agree with you 100%, Ray Sims. Mike will always be the champ to me, and I agree with that. You know what? That's a better closing sentiment than mine. Let's adopt Ray Sims. That's a better closing sentiment than mine. Someone can't talk about Mike because they're not a boxer. It's like saying you can't talk about the president because you've never been one. Micro USB, you know what? We got to be friends. We got to be friends. You're making sense, big fella. You're making sense. Let Iron Mike rest. It's not Iron Mike anymore. That's like brass now. Can't call that brother Iron no more. Got to call him Brass Mike Tyson or something like that. But yes, we're not going to disrespect the legacy of Tyson. Okay. Yep. The white boy whipped Tyson. That's what this whole post was about. You are late, CZZ. You're late. Only guns give people equal force exchange. Oh, Kimbo Sabe came in with some kind of philosophical stuff. We leave it on that high brown note there, Kimbo Sabe. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy. Blessings. Thanks for coming on. This is Del K. Brereton. This is The Real Spiel. Subscribe, become a member, share it, hang out with me. I got lots to talk about. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye.